What is up, guys? It's Brillymister here and welcome to today's video. If you do enjoy the video, then don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment and subscribe, and hit all the links up down below to Twitch and Discord. Enjoy the video. What is up, everybody? And yeah, today this is going to be a bit of a different video from normal. It's not something I've done before. Well, I think I might have done it before back in like 2012 or something, but it's not something I've done for a very long time. And that's going to be a bank video. I know a couple of other people made bank videos pretty recently. I think it was Protox and Wazware, and I really enjoyed watching them, and it actually just reminded me how much I quite enjoyed watching bank videos and stuff like that. So I decided to do a bank video of my own. Spent a little bit of time today tidying it all up, a couple of hours actually, a decent amount of time tidying all my bank up, and I've also realised how surprisingly difficult it is to make your bank look in any way tidy. But I've tried my absolute best, and yeah, so we'll go through all the stuff I got in my bank, what's all in all the places, and then we've got the wealth evaluator at the end, so I can price check everything and let you guys know basically how much I've got in there. I think my bank is either pretty decent or pretty bad, depending on whether you're a casual player or like an elite player. I'm fit somewhere in the middle, I think. So we'll start off with the first tab here. We've obviously got a max cash pile there, just so it is there, just in case I need it. Spirit shards in case I have to transfer any to spirit shards. If I ever get any more, it might start becoming a problem if I ever get a second max cash stack. Then we've got here all of my protein stuff. I've got an absolute ton of that. I've got loads of these protein cogs. I need to convert them because I'm already 200 million bench, and loads of planks, loads of logs, and loads of traps. I think those are probably going to be the ones that I use the most of. They're pretty good for fire making with the fire making brawling gloves in the wildy up by the mage bank. And I'm probably going to use protein planks just to do some of the new construction contracts to get the outfit. I should have a decent amount there. I got like nearly 6k, especially once I converted some of them and opened up all the rest of my protein packs. Yeah, I've got a lot there, and I've got these protein power-ups. Not really sure what they do. I think it makes them do your proteins a little bit quicker, so it increases the XP per hour a little bit. So we'll head now on to the second tab. This is my potions tab. This is one that I had a decent amount of work on it today. It had got a little bit messy from last time, even with bank placeholders. It still gets a little bit messy over time and doesn't stay exactly how it was. So I decided to completely rearrange it, basically. So I've got here everything that's like a 5-dose potion and down, so it all gets dumped into here. Apart from a couple of ones that I don't use very much, like, you know, standard overload flasks, aggression flasks, stuff that I don't use a massive amount of the time. So all the like important potions are now in my like combat tab. So we've got all of the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 doses all down there. My overloads, elder overloads, supreme overload salves, and normal supreme overloads. Same with the brews and restores. Just so they stack up here and don't clog up the rest of my bank. Then I managed to put all of my 4-dose potions down the side here, or pretty much all of my 4-dose potions. There's a few random like junky ones in there. So they look nice and tidy. So we've got all of like the weapon poisons, adren pots, load of extremes. Some super anti-fires, some more brews and restores. I'm pretty sure they basically come from drops from Nex. I haven't been there for a while, but I'm not ever aware of buying 4-dose potions, so I'm assuming that's where they've come from. I've also got 1.2k just standard overloads sat there still. I need to turn them into some salves at some point soon, because I am starting to get a little bit low on my salves now, as you'll all get to see fairly shortly. Then I got my replenishment potions again, yeah, collecting up in there anything that was not a 6-dose. And then we've got all of my random stuff here. These two are actually things I've got involved in a flip at the moment. I managed to buy these for like 100 GP each on double XP weekend. They're not selling at the moment for that much, so I'll hold on to a little bit longer. I'm sure I'll be able to sell them at some point. And even if I don't, they're only 100 GP each, so I'm not going to lose a massive amount of money on them. These ones here, the Vuln Bombs, these were a good one. I got these on double XP weekend for like 11k each. And I offloaded half of them the other day because they were selling for 17k, so I got rid of half of them, made 6k on each potion from that, and I kept hold of the other lot. I'm really hoping that they go up very nicely when the new boss comes out, and I might be able to get rid of them for maybe just over 20k, which would be awesome. So it'll be a decent chunk of profit there. And then yeah, we've got some Bizwax and a couple of other random potions and things that we don't ever really use, just to sort of fill out the last little bit of spaces. This is my gear tab. I will actually come back to this one because that's probably the most exciting one for you guys to see. So we'll come back to that one so we don't get it all out of the way too early. And we'll skip ahead to my skilling tab. So we just got one of each of all the urns that are like decorated and in use ones there. And then a couple of random other like junk urns that I'm guessing I made by mistake at some point. And all my remaining urns are in my Blessing of the Gods, which is somewhere else in the bank. Not here. Yeah, so we've just got some random skilling stuff in here, like my Premier Artifacts, Silver Hawk Boots and Feathers. Some more of my fletching supplies should be enough to get me most of the way to 120. They were balanced out, but one of my friends actually from a Discord wanted to buy some arrowheads, or headless arrows in bulk, so I just sold him a load of them, and I'll slow buy them back before next double XP weekend, and then we can use them all again. And yeah, then other than that, it's just some random pulse cores, loads of corruptors, 44k of that, probably never going to get used. That's going to be a long time to use anywhere near that amount, so that's probably just going to sit in the bank forever. This next tab is the one that you probably don't want to see. It's the junk tab, and it has basically got just tons and tons of just rubbish in it. Everything that I can't find a place for anywhere else in the bank just goes and ends up in here. So there's no order to this at all. It is literally just random junk basically that I feel like I may need at some point. I'm sure I could probably get rid of some of it. I managed to actually clear out quite a lot of this. I cleared out like over 200 bank spaces when I was sorting my bank out for this. So this was a lot worse, but it's a little bit better now. Next one we head over to is the summoning tab. So I've got an absolute ton of charms here. I feel like I've definitely got enough charms for 120. Maybe not for 200 mil, because I mean I'm at 60 mil XP now, so I don't think there's 140 mil worth of XP there. But I'd like to think there's at least the 40 mil to get to 120, especially with 20k blue charms, 85k crimsons. That's a decent amount. The green and the golds haven't stacked up too much. I've turned them off on my charming imp, so I don't ever get them. It's only really the crimsons and the blues that stack up. Then I got all my familiars in here that I use. Some of them are used obviously a lot more than others, like the Nihils and the Titan and the Ripper Demons. It's not very often that I use an Arctic Bear or the Abyssal Titan. It's just sort of for mine, for skilling. And then yeah, Lava Titan again, another one just for skilling. Then I got a few scrolls in here. I did have some Ripper scrolls, but I just ran out earlier. Do need to buy some more of them. And then again, there is a few more random bits of junk just in there. I did have a nice tidy through, but there's always a few things that come through the net. So this next tab here is another good one. It is my loot tab. So we've got quite a few things here. We've got all the random Araxi drops that are not finished yet. So I've got a spider leg top and then some webs and an eye, which are never going to get used. I can probably dismantle them at some point because they're basically just a component at this point in time, because they add no value to a spider leg top. I've also got nearly 50 scraps ready for another Kopesh. I will at some point grind that out because it's definitely really good money making the Kopesh. It's very, very profitable. But it's quite a long commitment because you have to finish it to actually make money, otherwise you kind of just make a big loss until then. So I might put a bit of effort into finishing that at some point fairly shortly. Don't think I'll be able to finish it before the new boss comes out, so we won't do that. We'll just save the GP because I'm going to need it for supplies and basically death costs, I would imagine. And that's where we get onto this next bit here. Onyxes. I have 61 uncut onyx. They're currently 3 mil each. I don't intend to take this many deaths on the new boss when it comes out, but it's nice to have them there just in case I do end up taking, it's what, about 3 deaths per onyx, 180 deaths? Yeah, let's hope we don't take 180 deaths. I've also got a whole load of grimy herbs here. These are just things I've got from drops over time. I'll just save them up and sell them just before double XP weekend because I'll get a little bit more money out of them. I'm not desperate for the GP now, so they can just stack up there. I've also got all these seals as well from God Wars Dungeon 2. Like, I've got max rep on all of them, so I don't really know what I can do with these seals, but I just keep them in there anyway. They may bring something out that's useful from at some point. Like, imagine if the new boss comes out and it requires these seals. That would be awesome. So yeah, so I've got a load of them just stacked there. And then we go into like the other random loots, all my diamonds and stuff. They all got cleaned out fairly recently for double XP weekend that's just been, so I sold quite a lot of them off. Got some ceramic scales, all of the stone spirits, which when you add them all together has pretty much no value. Then we've got some magic logs and corrupt magic logs. The corrupt magic logs are all from the Magister, I believe, and then the normal magic logs are just, they're dropped by everything, aren't they? They just slowly stack up. I got 37k of them. I slowly use them for fire making when I'm waiting for teams up there and things like that. So I will eventually get through them, maybe, if I stop PVMing. I don't know. It's most likely just going to keep going up. It'd be nice to see it get to 100k. That would be really awesome. And then, yeah, we've got all the stuff here. My ED2 stuff, basically, that I've just sold off. So, yeah, we've got all the D-hides and battle staffs. A few different kinds of bones there. Nothing really of a massive worthwhile. Some adrenaline crystals. These 4 Araxite eggs, they have no GE value, so I just cannot sell them on the GE. So I guess I'll have to use them in my farm at some point, but yeah, until then, they're just going to sit in there. And then I got a whole load of rare and common relics and all that kind of stuff. and some first stage coins. They're a mil each, that's 2 mil there. Yeah, these are a mil each as well, so that's 15 mil there. And yeah, I've got a lot of money just sat there. I'll get around to putting them in my alch machine at some point fairly soon. Yeah, I'll probably go do that after this video. It's going to take a while for them to be alched down. Pretty sure you can't put the rare ones in there though, so I'll have to manually alch them, but it's only 15 things, so it's not too bad. So then we go on to my last 3 little tabs here before we go back to the main gear tab. We'll just have a quick look at this one. It's my farming tab. There is a little bit of farming stuff in there. I've got my Master Farmer's outfit, Wildy Sword for going to the Wildy patches, and a few teleports and stuff. And a few of the super growth potions still for whenever at some point I decide to go and grow some more herbs in the Wildy, do the Bloodwood seed thing. And a ton of urns. Oh, I didn't realise I had quite that many urns. So that's, they're like 4k, so that's like 8 million urns there, which is actually pretty decent. So yeah, we're just going to keep them there, and I'll slowly use them. They'll probably go before I get to 200 mil farming. I'm 155 mil now. So this tab here was my archaeology tab, but it is now my mining tab. It's basically got my mining stuff. Ah, there we go. There's me, Brooch of the Gods with all my other urns in it, and Grace of the Elves and all stuff like that. So they're the only things in here with real value. The Mattock had a bit of value when I bought it, but it's not got any value now really. The Dragon Mattocks and all of that and the Chronotes have crashed so much that it's not worth anywhere near what I paid for it. Definitely got scammed there. And yeah, I've just got some stuff for making porters for mining, and then yeah, magic mining golem outfit and some metamorphic geodes. I've got 31 of them there. I'm currently saving them up. You will probably see what for at some point in the future. They save up pretty slowly. And then this last tab here is either going to trigger a lot of people or you'll understand it. So I've got a lot of clues here. I really dislike doing clues, so I have got 119 hard clues, 153 elite clues, not very many mediums, not very many easies, and 10 master clues. It's mostly the hard and elite clues. They're probably never going to get done, but if I ever do decide to do them, I have got an absolute ton of clues here I can do. I've done a few of them. As you can see, I've got my spirit tree rerouters and some stuff in here from them, and stuff to do them, but not realistically going to do those clues ever. They're probably just going to sit there. So now we'll go back to the big one, which is the gear tab. I spent a lot of time organising this one as well. This was a really difficult one to organise. I still don't think it looks particularly tidy, like it's still quite messy, but it's a lot better than it was. So we've got my trim masterwork and the normal masterwork. So my normal masterwork was for Slayer. I can probably sell that now as I'm 200 mil Slayer, and I'm probably not going to need it. Look at those beautiful perks, Crackling 2 and Demon Slayer. That is a brilliant perk, that. Yeah, so I could probably actually get rid of some of that. Same with, I got my ranged, and that's the mage, and my ranged Slayer gear from when I did that. I still keep in those ones though, because the mage gear is really nice for AFK and spiritual warriors in my player in dungeon, and the range gear is the exact same but for the Capsarius in my dungeon, just for some AFK money making, which is awesome. Then we've got my Elite Tectonic, which has got nicely perked up for PVM. All my PVM stuff's pretty much got the same perks on. I went for like, not cheapskate perks, but like, not that I didn't go for Aftershock and stuff like that. So I've got Crackling 4, Relentless 3, Enhanced, Devoted 4, Impatient 4, and then Enhanced Devoted 4 and Biting 4 on pretty much everything. One of them, yeah, I think it's down there. I got Biting 4 in combination with Venom Blood, which is absolutely awesome. Then we got, just the normal, the Serenic. I only really use that for elite dungeons at the moment. And next, Void is just filling out the gap in there. It's pretty much no use at all. Same with my War Priest, probably never going to use that. And then I got my Virtus. It's still got old perks on that from before, or maybe I did upgrade it. So no, it's got a few new perks on that, but that was what I used to use for all my Mage PVM before I got my Elite Tectonic. It's pretty much been retired now. I sometimes use it for Magister if I don't want to waste charges on my Tectonic, but not all the time. And yes, now we get on to the really good bit, which is the weapon section here. So we've got full magic. I got my Staff of Sliske, nicely leveled up level 20, and all my weapons again have got the same perks on, or mostly got the same perks on. They've got P6 Genocidal and Equilibrium 4 and Ruthless. It's either Ruthless 2 or Ruthless 3 depending on what I got. I didn't mess around trying to get Aftershocks and stuff like that. It's just way too expensive for me for what I'd get out of it in terms of extra DPS. Then I got my Appraisal Wand, again P6 Genocidal. I cheapskated out on this set a little bit, so I got a Appraisal Wand and I only got a Seismic Singularity for an offhand, because I wasn't sure if I was going to get on with two-handed mage or not, and it turns out I didn't, so they kind of just sit in the bank here. I don't know why, but I seem to do so much better with the Staff of Sliske than the Appraisal. It's really noticeable. I've been doing it at AOD, and like I really struggle to get my amalgamation down in time when I'm using dual wields. Whereas if I use my Staff of Sliske, they get them down every time really easy. Using the exact same rotation as well, I just go Corruption Shot into Asphyxiate, into Wild Magic, into Dragon Breath. Finishes it off fine with a Sliske, but doesn't with Appraisals. No idea why. Don't get on with a two-handed. Then we got onto the melee stuff. So I got the Nox Scythe. That's a pretty standard thing for everybody that's doing decent level PVM to have. You've got to have a Nox Scythe in your bank. I've also got my Masterwork Spear of Annihilation. I only bought that fairly recently. I bought it when I was testing out the micro method for AFKing Greg. I haven't really used it since then. I used it a little bit, but it's kind of just chilled in the bank. But I'm going to be really looking forward to using that when I go and do some more stuff like ED3. Be really nice for the spinners, and maybe even rots. Melee rots could be pretty good with that. I got the ZGS as well, which is most of the time just a switch. There are a few things where you can actually just camp it and use it as a tier 92 weapon, where you don't need like the extra scythe range. But most of the time it's just a switch for the black hole spec. Then for my range stuff, we got the ECB. My range gear is the one that's the most neglected all around. Like I've not got the tier 92 armor. I've only got the tier 90 armor, because the tier 92 armor for that is like savagely expensive. So I'm just not wanting to splash the cash on that. Then I have my offhand Shadow Glaive. I use that basically with my Chin Chompers. It's basically for rots, and well, ED2 I Chin Chomper a little bit, but again, too stingy to buy myself an offhand Ascension bow, so we're using an offhand Shadow Glaive. Then we've got a Chaotic Crossbow as the Planted Feet switch, which I might change to something two-handed at some point, because it's quite annoying that it doesn't have the same range as the Eldritch, so especially ED2, when I'm like safe spotting the hands, it'll like run you towards them. But yeah, that's just a little quality of life thing. Then I got my melee dual wield. I just got Dragon Maces again, P6 Genocidal, and I got Flanking 4 as the offhand. I only really switched to that for Decimate and for flanking, so for backhand. Enhanced Excalibur just for healing. Dragon Battle Axe rarely gets used. That's just if you're going to go for like a speed kill on something. And then I've got my Flanking for Mage and my Planted Feet switch for Magic as well, along with some rune pouches with all kinds of runes in. That pretty much covers me for a combat spell, spellbook swap, Disruption Shield, Heal Other, and Intercept. I've not fully got the hang of using that yet, but I'm trying to learn it, so that'll be good. Will help me improve a little bit. Then we get over to this bit over here. We just got all our amulets. We've got the Essence of Finality. I've got a Dark Bow in that at the moment, but I tend to swap it around between a Dark Bow, Gothic Staff, and Dragon Dagger, just because they're all quite cheap. We've got Amulet Souls for... Well, I got that for AFK and Greg, basically, because it's a waste of Finality charges, and this does essentially the same thing for that. And then we've got a couple other things there. Ring of Death and Ring of Vigor. My Luck of the Dwarves is in the Relic, because I am a lazy man, and it's where it should live, in the Relic for me. So then we've got actually our supplies here. So I've made this for gearing up a little bit easier, so I put them in my gear tab. So it's just the 6 dose potions for Holy Overloads, Elder Overload salves, brews, restores, and like my low level food and my high level food. I've also got my replenishment potions and Dominion mines. And the rest of this tab is pretty much just filled up with random junk again, just to fill out the spaces. Random junk that, I may or may not use every now and then. Apart from the Mizurari, I need to sell that at some point because I've upgraded my spear and I'm probably never ever going to use it ever again. So now we'll get on to the bit that I'm sure you will want to see, and that is the actual bank value. I also got to mention I've got 1.3 bill in my cash stack as well, so if you add that to the cash stack in the bank, I got about 3.4, 3.5 bill just in cash, just floating around in the bank, which is pretty cool. So we'll open up the Wealth Evaluator now. Got to bear in mind this has dropped recently by like 600 mil when I bought Premier Club for my Iron Man. So we'll pop it open now, and we have 11.159 bill. So yeah, like I said, if you're a casual player, my bank probably looks quite good and decent amount in it, but if you're like a proper high-end PVMer, then you've got way more than me, and this probably looks disappointing. I've probably fit nicely in the mid-ground of slightly above average, I'd say, in bank value there. So yeah, 11.1 bill, really nice. And yeah, I really hope you guys did enjoy this bank video. It's turned out a little bit longer than I expected. It is like a 20-minute video, so really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and leave a like on the video, and there are links in the description to Twitch and to Discord. Until next time, guys, see ya.